Hi! The holiday season is upon us. It seems like a lot of us don't really have time to have a regular yoga practice. So I thought through the holiday season I would just share very short tutorials and tips about how to keep your practice a part of your day in a very, very time manageable way. So I thought today we could go over the 6 directions of the spine. Whenever I'm asking my students about injuries or if they have requests of things they want to work on in class, I hear over and over and over again, my back hurts, can we do something to make my back feel better? Now generally I say the best thing for a sore back is core work, and I'm sure there will be a day where we go over that. But today I thought we would just work on moving the spine in all 6 directions to kind of help with the aches and the pain that happen while carrying day-to-day stress, from sleeping a weird way when it gets cold out, from carrying a Christmas tree or whatever you're doing that makes your back hurt. So, 6 directions. First is extension, and we've got flexion, we've got rotation, and we've also got lateral flexion. So you don't have to sit on the floor, you don't need a yoga mat. You can do this standing, although standing would be a little bit harder, but you could totally do this in a chair. Traditionally we do cat-cow on all fours, which again is really great, inhaling your cow and exhaling through your cat, but you can do the same thing seated. Because that seems to be more convenient for people, especially if they're at work, I'm going to show what it looked like seated. A lot of the time when people are moving through a cat-cow, they really end up moving their arms a lot more than their back. And they kind of just move like one little chunk of their back. So I want you to think about keeping your arms relatively motionless and instead trying to move from the spine in a particular direction. So I like to think about starting from the pelvis and then working up toward the neck. As you inhale, you start by moving the pelvis forward, opening the belly, lifting the heart up, and then sending the gaze slightly up while maintaining a long, stable neck versus dropping the head back, which is kind of the temptation. Now on the exhale, you reverse it, but again, start from the pelvis by pulling the pelvis under, pulling the ribs down toward the pelvis, creating space in between the shoulder blades, and then maybe tucking the chin slightly, again, versus dropping the head. It's kind of the tendency that humans like to do. Our head is, I guess, kind of heavy or something. On the inhale, you start from the bottom, work your way up one vertebrae at a time, all the way through the extension. On the exhale, move from the belly. It's really your core that's doing the work here to round you forward into the flexion. So the same sort of thing kind of happens with twists. It seems like a lot of the time people want to twist from their arms versus using their core or the real functions of the spine. So what I like to do is wherever I'm sitting or if I'm standing, whatever's touching the ground, I push into the ground with that thing. So for instance, right now I'm on a little cushion. I'm going to push my shins down into that cushion to get me a little bit taller. And then I'm going to kind of lock my throat back so the ears are over the shoulders, and I'll push up to the top of the head. I like to put my arms into a cactus position. That way I'm not tempted to use my arms in the twist. And I can also focus on retraction of the shoulder blades or drawing them toward the spine, drawing them toward each other. And I feel like when I work into that retraction, it makes it a little bit more difficult to change the shape of my spine. And I want to keep it long and straight, so that retraction helps me to do that. So pressing down through the shins, kind of coarsening your belly inward, so it feels like your ribs are hugging toward each other, toward the middle. Pushing up through the head, I'll retract the shoulder blades. On the inhale, I'm going to get as long and tall as I can. And on the exhale, I'm going to use my core to twist me versus my arms. And you can see I'm moving at a pretty wide range of motion. I'm twisting pretty far, but it's not my arms doing it. If I were to drop my arms down, they would be here versus here. And when I take myself here, I'm not actually twisting any deeper, I'm just moving my arms around. So by focusing on the twist from the spine and the core, you're actually going to increase your range of motion without the visual distraction of the arms. And finally, we've got lateral flexion. I start with the same setup that I did with my twist. I kind of ground down into whatever I'm touching, whatever's underneath me. So my shins are going to push down into this cushion. I'm going to corset my ribs in to firm the abdomen some. Lengthen the neck and keep the shoulders soft. So I'm just going to start by dropping my left fingers down, and on the inhale I'm going to reach my right arm overhead, and I'm going to make sure that my palm is turning in versus out, and that's just going to help to further move and open the latissimus dorsi along this side, whereas if your arm is flipped palm out, it makes it a little bit difficult to get into that space fully. So palm in, I'm going to inhale to lift up, really lengthen. On the exhale, I'm going to reach to the opposite side, but more importantly, I'm rooting down through my shins still, and I'm pushing my ribs in the opposite direction of my fingers. On the inhale, I'll come back up, and exhale to soften down, and do the same thing on the opposite side. Inhale, root down to lift up, palm turning in. On the exhale, I'll open in the opposite direction, maintain that grounding sensation through my legs, and push my ribs in the opposite direction. So if you just move your spine a few times each direction right when you wake up, and maybe at some point during the day, and then again at the end of the night, or even just once a day, doing this a little bit, this little teeny tiny bit of work is going to immensely help ease the overall aches and pains that most people are experiencing in their back. Thank you for watching. If you like this, find my YouTube channel and subscribe, and also visit me at graceduckworth.com, where I'm so excited to announce that I will be launching an online yoga studio in January through the awesome program of My Yoga Studio Online, created by the amazing Deborah O'Brien. So look forward to that, and I will be seeing you soon. Bye!